What's going on, Pit Pocket Podcast? We got UFC Las Vegas Fight Night this weekend. If you guys don't know, UFC starts early this weekend. I'm not too sure why, but they're starting early this weekend. The first fight on this card starts around 12, but on the main card, the fights that we're going to talk about right here in this episode starts around 3 o'clock, 3:45. We got 4 fights to talk about that I like for this UFC card that I really like, I'm confident in, so we're going to talk about it. All right. First fight, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Bikasat. Umar Nurmagomedov, he's 16-0, 2 TKO wins, 7 submission wins. He is 4-0 in the UFC so far. Umar Nurmagomedov, man, 3 submission wins, 1 decision win, 1 TKO win in the UFC. If you guys don't know, he's Khabib gang. You know what I'm saying? He's always with Khabib and them boys, them Russians. They different. This guy, man, it's a hard name to pronounce. Excuse me, man. But Bikasat, he's he's in the same. He's from the same area where Shavkat is from. I'm not too familiar with this guy because it's about to be his UFC debut, but he's 17-1 with 12 TKO wins. That's a little oof. I don't know. This is a little tough. You know, we can't count this guy out regardless who it is. You know what I'm saying? But I really think Umar Nurmagomedov, man, he's on the rise in the bantamweight division. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of looking like McGregor versus Khabib 2.0. If Umar Nurmagomedov gets his win, he could potentially get a title shot on some quick shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, it's a quick shit. He might have to fight one more top guy in the division to get the title shot. But I'm a big Umar Nurmagomedov fan, man. This guy is pretty damn good. He's a monster. So I got him to win by submission. His last fight, Umar Nurmagomedov, he won by TKO. I think this fight, Umar Nurmagomedov, he gets the submission win plus 150. The guy that he's fighting, he's more of a striker, I believe. He has to be careful, though. Umar Nurmagomedov has to be careful. He can't get knocked out. But I think he can get a submission win for this Saturday, guys. That's what I got. This next one, Alex Perez versus Muhammad Mokaev. Alex Perez, he's 24-7, 31 years old. He has 5 TKO wins, 7 submission wins. He is 3-2 his past 5 fights, but he lost 2 straight, and his last fight was in 2022 in July. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? Been quite some times for Alex Perez. Muhammad, on the other hand, he's 11-0, a top prospect in the UFC right now. He's 23 years old, 2 TKO wins, 6 submission wins. He is 5-0 in the UFC. In the UFC, he has 4 submission wins and 1 decision. So he gets the submissions. You know what I'm saying? He gets the submission wins in the UFC. Listen, Alex Perez, this might be a closer fight from what the odds look at it, but Alex Perez's last fight back in 2022, he lost to Pantoja by submission. I think Muhammad, his submission, man, his grappling is just really different. You know what I'm saying? Going back to his last fight against Miller, like the way that he made him tap out was just really impressive. I can't lie. Even though I feel like this guy might be a little overrated, Muhammad Mokaev, I just feel like, I don't know, he be minus 700 on odds, but he be damn near losing a round in the fight. But I really think this fight might be different. I think Muhammad, if you want to do double chance points or submission, minus 280 for Muhammad, you can. But I also like Muhammad to win by submission, plus 145 for this fight. I think he gets a submission. I think he gets it done, guys, for this one. And potentially, Muhammad, he is, a title contender if he gets his win. If he gets his win, he could potentially get a title shot next fight. So we're going to see what's up with that. But yeah, man, I got Muhammad. Points or submission, double chance, minus 280. Or Muhammad plus 145 submission. That's what I got for that fight, guys. Move on to the third fight. Victor Petrino versus Tyson Pedro. Victor, he is 10-0, 7 TKO wins, 3-0 in the UFC right now. He's a top prospect in the light heavyweight division. His last 3 fights, he won by TKO. He won by submission, was really surprising, and by decision for his past 3 fights in the UFC. That's pretty good. This guy is a striker, man. He's pretty damn good. I've seen him fight. He's really impressive. Tyson Pedro, on the other hand, he's 10-4, 5 TKO wins, 5 submission wins. He's 3-2 his past 5 fights. But the question is, will Tyson Pedro grapple? He has 5 submission wins on his belt. Petrino, he's not much of a submission artist or a grappling artist like that, even though he's Brazilian, but he's more of a striker. But I don't think Tyson Pedro is going to submission, go after submissions, go after grappling. I think it's going to be a striking battle because the past 5 fights for Tyson Pedro, he was just standing up, striking with the other person, going after the knockouts. So I think Victor Petrino, I think he gets the win. I think he stays undefeated. We all know how the UFC loves top prospects when they're undefeated. But I feel like he's the better striker. We've seen Tyson Pedro, shit the bed a few times. Don't get me wrong, Tyson Pedro is a really good fighter. I like him, but I think Victor Petrino is a smart move here. Take the money line minus 310. I know it's little juicy odds and shit like that, but you could parlay piece it with one of the picks that we just talked about, guys. So yeah, I got Victor Petrino, my money line beating Tyson Pedro for that fight. Let's go on to the main event. This was really tough. This is really interesting. Rozenstruik versus Shamil Gaziev. Gaziev, I believe, I pronounce it. Sorry, man. But Rozenstruik, he's 13-5. Shamil, he's 12-0. He's undefeated. But Shamil, his second fight in the UFC. Rozenstruik, on the other hand, he lost 2 straight. This is kind of tough. But I think the odds is kind of fishy. I believe that you guys should stay away from this fight. I'm not. This is fishy. It's just really odd to see Rozenstruik as an underdog. Even though he lost 2 straight, yes, I know. But he's experienced and he's the better striker, in my opinion. Rozenstruik used to be a world kickboxer champion. You know what I'm saying? This guy used to throw down with the best kickboxers in the world. I know UFC is different, but he still gets the knockouts win. You know what I'm saying? He still strikes with other people and stuff like that. It's just the bad matchup for Rozenstruik. He past 2 fights he went against people who grapples, who goes after submissions. Rozenstruik is not a grappling guy. He stands up and he throws some hands with you. So it'd be kind of interesting because Shamil Gaziev, he does go after the grappling takedowns, but as of recently, I haven't really seen that for him. So I think the smart play here is go with the UFC experienced guy like Rozenstruik. Go with the guy who had the better striking. He might be a little faster than Shamil. So I'm going to go Rozenstruik plus 136 money line. I would say single bet it. Don't parlay with anything. Or just stay away from this fight if you guys not really liking it. But this was really fishy. So your choice. But I think Rozenstruik gets the win. He could potentially get a knockout for this fight because this is a heavyweight fight. Someone's bound to get knocked out. So yeah, man, that's what we got. I'm gonna run it back for you guys real quick. I got Umar Nurmagomedov to win by submission, beating Picaset. And I got Mohamed Mokayev beating Alex Perez. I got Mohamed Mokayev by points or submission, double chance, minus 280. Or you could put Mohamed to win by submission, plus 145. This next fight, I got Victor Petrino, money line, beating Tyson Pedro. And the last fight, you could single bet it or stay away. But I got Rozenstruik beating Shamil, underdog, for this UFC fight night, guys, in Las Vegas. Next week, 3-year anniversary for Pickpocket Podcast. We're about to have a big episode next week. Big picks. We ready. We locked and loaded. We're not fucking around. When it comes to our anniversary, we show the fuck out. You know what happened last year with John Jones versus Cyril Gane. That's all I got to say. We in it. Let's get it. Peace out, guys.